Hello and welcome to the program. I'm your host, Neal Howard. Thank you for joining us today on Health Professional Radio. Our guest in studio is Dr. Winifred Bragg. She's an author of KnockOutPain Secrets to Maintain a Healthy Back. She's also an expert in providing non-surgical treatment for injuries and pain resulting from spinal and orthopedic conditions. She's been featured on all the major U.S. television networks as well as in Redbook, Women's World, and Self Magazine. And she's here today with us on Health Professional Radio to discuss her brand new book, Knockout Pain, and to talk about the O's of life that contribute to back pain. Welcome to Health Professional Radio, Dr. Bragg.
Thank you for having me, Neal. How are you today?
I'm doing very well. Thank you so much for asking. Hope that you're doing well, too.
I am.
Right. You're an expert in providing non-surgical treatment for injuries and pain resulting, as I said, from spinal and orthopedic conditions. So we're talking basically, you're an expert in providing care of those suffering from back pain. Talk a little bit about your background, and we'll get right into your new book.
Okay, Neal. Well, I did my undergraduate training at the University of Alabama. And from there, I did my medical school training in Nashville, Tennessee at Meharry Medical College. I did an internship at Baptist Medical Centers back in Birmingham, and my residency training at the University of Michigan in Ann Arbor, Michigan.
What was it that prompted you to specialize in back pain as opposed to other specialties?
Well, prior to going to medical school for a couple of years, I worked as a disability examiner, where you would evaluate people's files for Social Security disability. But what I found is a lot of people were applying for disability at a very young age, and they weren't going to be eligible for it. So I wanted to pick a specialty where I could help people to restore their their function, improve their quality of life, and decrease their pain so that they could go back to work, so that they could have other options. So I'm board certified in physical medicine rehabilitation in one of my specialties, and what we work on there is improving a person's quality of life, decreasing their pain, and improving their function. And that's why I wanted to do that. And back pain happens to be one of the most common reasons that people were applying for disability. It's one of the second most common reason that people get disability under age 45. And so back pain is something that everybody has. 80% of us will have it by age 55. So this is why I wanted to specialize in treating people with back pain and giving them options where they could have better quality of life and restore their function.
Now, you've been in practice for, well, over 20 years, and you've treated thousands of patients for back pain, injuries, and otherwise associated with the back. But you're also an author. You're the author of a brand new book, Knockout Pain, Secrets to Maintain a Healthy Back. Why did you write the book?
Well, I wrote the book because I wanted people to be able to know that surgery is not the only option when it comes to back pain. You know, when we have other things wrong with us, Neal, your heart, your lungs, or any other part of your body, we don't go to the doctor and say, hey, can you cut it out? Can you fix it that way? We go seeking other options. But somehow when it comes to orthopedic problems, especially your back, your knees, your hips, people seem to think that a surgery is the only answer. Yet only about 5% of people who have back pain really should have surgery. So I wrote the book because I wanted to increase people's awareness and their knowledge to what are the other viable options that they can do to relieve back pain other than just thinking surgery is the only answer. Because the truth is, after surgery, sometimes people have more pain or the surgery does not alleviate their pain. So this is what prompted me to write the book so that people could understand those things.
You say that the book is dedicated to your mom for her continuous support and encouragement. Did your mom have anything to do? I mean, was she suffering from, say, back pain, or did you know a family member that was suffering from back pain and that kind of brought it home for you?
Yeah, that did bring it home. My mother was injured a couple of years ago, and she had a back pain for the first time in her life at age 74. She developed that in the later part of 2012. And was subsequently injured. And she told me, as I became her primary caregiver then, she said, listen, you've been talking about writing a book, truth be told, Neal. And she said, if you're going to do it, it's time to do it to help people. And so not only was I treating people who had back pain, I was living it every day at the time because I was my mom's caregiver. I brought her in to for me to care for her. And so I was treating back pain at the office and at home with my mother when she came to stay with me in the early part of 2013.
You're talking about surgery and how to avoid surgery and educating people. Injuries don't necessarily contribute to the back pain all the time. Most of the time, it's lifestyle, things like posture and things of that nature. Talk about some of the factors that contribute to back pain that aren't necessarily injuries and don't necessarily require surgery, but if left unaddressed, most definitely can require surgery.
Well, I've coined something that I call, Neal, the O's of life, because I think that if you give people something that's easy to remember, you got it. So all these things that I say that primarily contribute to back pain start with an O. Okay. When we get older, we can have back pain simply just from arthritis. But the truth be told, the spine chart's showing times arthritis around age 29 or 30. So you're not really that old then. Yeah. But as you get older, you can have the increased risk of having osteoarthritis, so older age. Osteoporosis can cause back pain. People can fall. Their back is weak, not having all the mineralization that they have. Okay. So they're prone to what we call compression fractures. And then being overweight or out of shape can also increase your risk of back pain. Overuse, doing repetitive bending and twisting, bending from the waist, rather than using your knees when you do lifting. You know, when you do lifting, you should bend your knees, try to keep your back as straight as possible, and use your legs. Get that the power come from your legs, not your back, to decrease your back pain. And so occupational risk sometimes can increase one's risk of back pain, but the truth be told, Neal, back pain is found equally in blue-collar as well as white-collar workers. A lot of times people think you have to do heavy labor to have back pain. You don't have to. You can be a white-collar worker. You can be like you, Neal, I would imagine, sitting at a desk.
Absolutely.
But if you sit there all day long, guess what? You can get back pain. Absolutely. Throughout the hour or an hour and a half, I recommend you get up and do some stretches. Otherwise, you are putting the back under extra stress, and you can develop back pain from too much sitting.
I understand your primary locations there in Norfolk, Virginia?
Yes. Yeah. I actually have two offices, one in Norfolk and one in Chesapeake, Virginia, which is about 25 miles away. Okay. And my website is KnockOutPain.com. People can sign up for my monthly tips, and I give a tip each month of things that you can do to prevent back pain. I also have a Facebook page at Spine and Orthopedic Pain Center Facebook page. I do videos and videos to give people tips of things that they can do to prevent back pain and other orthopedic conditions. On my website, you can find articles. You can find just different things that I have written to give people education, because I think education is power. And the more you know about something, the better you are to make good choices when it comes time to your treatment and your own health and the prevention of back pain, because prevention is the key with back pain.
Absolutely. You've been listening to Health Professional Radio. I'm your host, Neal Howard, and we've been in studio talking with Dr. Winifred Bragg, expert in back pain management, non-surgical treatment of injuries associated with spinal and orthopedic conditions. And she's been in studio today with us talking about her brand new book, KnockOutPain Secrets to Maintain a Healthy Back, and also the O's of life, which contribute to back pain. It's been great having you in studio with us today.
Thank you, Neal.
Thank you. Transcripts and audio of this program are available at healthprofessionalradio.com.au and also at hpr.fm, and you can subscribe to this podcast on iTunes.